Hey everyone, and welcome to our Explainer. Today we are diving into a really interesting model of reality that tries to smash together physics, faith, and the very core of who you are. It's called the resonance model, and it's all built on one, well, pretty radical idea about your own existence. Let's jump right in.
So let's just start with the big one. Forget everything you think you know about beginnings and endings for a second. What if the very essence of you, your consciousness, that thing you call me, was never created and can never be destroyed? What if it's just always been here? This is the wild question that gets this whole thing started.
All right, to really get where this model is going, we first have to understand the problem it's trying to solve. And we're going to start on some familiar ground, the world of measurable, predictable physics. Right, we all know this one. E equals mc squared. It's the law of the universe, telling us everything is either energy or matter. And the other big rule, you can't create or destroy energy. So think about it, on a purely physical level, the atoms that make you have existed forever, just in different forms. You are literally made of eternal stuff.
Okay, and this is where things get really interesting. See, science is amazing at measuring the physical world. Matter, energy, all that stuff. But it kind of hits a wall when it tries to put a number on things like consciousness, or that core feeling of you, or even a concept like God. It just doesn't have a great framework for the unmeasurable. And it's right in that gap that the resonance model stakes its claim.
So what if we just flip the script? Instead of starting with what we can measure with our instruments, this model starts with a premise taken from Revelation. It's a whole new framework for understanding that science can't quite get its hands on. The big key term in this model is intelligence. Now, we're not talking about your IQ score here. In this context, intelligence is defined as the light of truth itself. It's seen as an eternal, fundamental substance. It wasn't made, it wasn't created, it just is. This is the absolute bedrock of existence in this model. And look, this definition isn't just pulled out of thin air. It comes directly from this scriptural text. It's making the case that man, or more to the point, the core intelligence of a person, existed with God from the very beginning. So this is crucial. The entire model is built on top of this one foundational claim. Now here's how the model tries to build a bridge from that theological idea back to something like physics. The logic goes like this. Step 1, we know our thoughts produce brainwaves, and we can measure those. Step 2, the model argues that if you can measure it, it must be a form of energy. Step 3, we already know from physics that energy is eternal. So the conclusion, at least within this framework, is step 4. The core you that does the thinking, your intelligence, must have always existed.
So if we run with this idea that we are all eternal intelligences, then what are the rules of the game? What are the laws of existence? Well, the model's creator proposes a kind of blueprint for all of creation, something he calls the 9 laws, which he sort of reverse engineered from that core idea. Let's take a look.
Okay, the first 5 laws are all about the process of building and refining. It starts with combining, bringing different ideas or materials together. Then you compound them, building something new that's greater than its parts. Next, you compare what you've made against some kind of pattern of truth. Naturally, that leads to correction, where you make adjustments and tweaks. And finally, you consecrate it, dedicating what you've created to a higher purpose.
Then we have the final 4 laws, and these are all about finishing the job and leveling up. You continue the process, building momentum until your work culminates. It reaches its peak, the end of a cycle. Then comes this really interesting one, the cross. It's a moment of sacrifice where old patterns have to sort of die to make room for something new and better. And finally, everything can converge, with all the different pieces aligning into a state of oneness. So we have these 9 laws, this whole blueprint for how existence works. But what powers it all? What's the engine that makes the whole thing go? The model calls this the core resonant current. And this is just so simple, but really powerful. The engine works in 3 steps. First, there's an offer. A pattern of truth is presented to you. Second, you exercise your agency, your fundamental freedom to choose. And third, your choice leads to acceptance or rejection. And that choice determines the very reality or resonance that you live in. Your choices are literally tuning your existence to a specific frequency.
And this whole idea of agency being the central mechanism, that's also grounded right in the source text. This passage frames agency not just as a freedom, but as a kind of accountability. The light, or the truth, is right there for us, and our choice to accept it or not, well, that has real consequences.
Okay, so we've gone through a lot. Physics, eternal intelligence, 9 laws of creation, this engine of choice. Let's bring it all home. What's the final equation here? what does all of this actually mean for you right now?
It really just boils down to this. It's simple, it's direct, and it's kind of profound. According to this model, the most fundamental truth about you is that you are an uncreated, unending, eternal being. And if that's true, well, that changes everything.
And that's what we'll leave you with. If this model holds any water, if our choices are constantly creating the resonance we live in, what frequency are you choosing? What reality are you tuning into with every little decision you make? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for diving in with us.